Hey, Stars Live. How's it going? How are you doing? What's up? Not much. We're playing some scales. How are you doing? Hey, Sima. How are you doing? Hey, Yeeps. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. We got F1 fan in here. How are you doing? We got Tara Folds. Hello. I've been thinking about quitting YouTube. Okay. Are you making money from it? What's your plans? What are you doing, Yeeps? Or are you planning on quitting watching YouTube? You make a lot of money doing YouTube? So why do you want to quit? That's pretty sweet. You only do YouTube for fun. Oh, okay. Gotcha. C sharp major scale. Ari did it. We're on E major right now. Hey, Steam Engine Adventures. Do you have a question about the C sharp major scale, Stars Live? I'm trying to rehabilitate right now because I'm kind of tired of babying my hands. Ask whatever music questions or really whatever questions you want right now because we're just playing, we're jamming right now. Oh, it just delayed? Gotcha. Yeah, we're just going through them one at a time in order. Can I play Nirvana? Yeah, we can. Were you just saying that you might quit YouTube, Yeeps? Did you have any follow-up? Did you want any conversation about it? Oh. Oh, I gotcha. Nice, Stars Live. That definitely shows that you got some awareness of what's going on. Okay. Just asking. Let me do my scales and then we might just do some jamming. I've got some long form videos I'm hoping to finish editing today and then post today, or some of them today. You know the 12 major scales? That's all you need to know. You don't have a lot of video ideas? Nobody has a lot of video ideas. Okay. I'm going to give you some Stephen King advice. He's got a great book on writing. That's fantastic if you want some advice straight from the source. But if you just want me to give you just some random advice, this is what I would say. If you feel like you're a YouTuber, if you feel like making videos is something you want to do, just do it, okay? Don't worry about how many octaves should we do? You started with 1 and did 2, now doing 4. Sounds fantastic to me. At some point, you may want to revisit doing 1 octave and 2 octaves, but at different speeds, but that sounds great. If you feel like being a YouTuber is something you want to be, just be a YouTuber, okay? Don't worry about the ideas. Don't worry about how good you are. Don't worry about any of these things. Just approach it and do it with the slight caveat that you do want to be making sure you're making progress, right? But it really comes down to making a choice. That's what I would really, really say. You love the sloth? Yeah, the sloth is cute. I agree. Hey, how you doing, Tess? It's been a month. I've gone years without posting. It's okay. You sound like you might be a little young too, which there's nothing wrong with, but I just want to let you know. Time just keeps passing no matter what, and that's okay. Guess what? You don't have to worry about your audience, all right? They'll be there when you're ready. This whole idea, oh, consistency, whatever, yes, all that's true. But again, so much of that stuff only matters if you're trying to turn it into a business. Well, if you want to do that video idea, go for it. Otherwise, if you want to just have videos come out and that's the thing you want to do, then just pick ideas that don't take as much time. I am a huge believer that you just need more times at bat. If that makes sense. So I'll have things that I know are going to take a while, and then I have things that I know I can just churn out and work through both. All right, we're almost done with scales. Play close to you. I got 2 more scales to go. Right now, this is just life corner, which apparently bums everyone out because we've only had 3 people in here so far. If you play scales, YouTube actively suppresses your live stream, apparently. You genuinely have a question? I feel scared when I think about the fact that you're starting your piano journey in your 20s. Feel pressure to prove myself to parents in just 2 years. You're not alone. That's pretty normal, especially starting late. What I would just say is always start with yourself. I know this sounds kind of weird. Your first long form video was cringe and was weird, but it got you views. That sounds like exactly what you need to get views. Be cringe. If I have one bit of advice, I need to make this video now. Be cringe. Cringe is success. Do you know why we don't like being cringe? Close to You by the Carpenter? Sure. Do you know why we don't like cringe? We don't like cringe because cringe feels different, right? But we want to embrace being cringe. Paul Mariot Alouette. We can look into that. Here's Close to You. Paul Mariot Alouette. The Amazing Spider-Man theme. Not the Amazing Spider-Man 2 theme. Here's Alouette. Yep. suggest something. Sometimes I think a lot about this thing and feel scared that I'm gonna do good or not. It's outside of your control, okay? There's a little bit that's inside of your control, and then there's a lot that's out. I would accept, is this important to me or not? And if it's important to you, then do it. If it's not, then no. All right, I'm gonna make the most clickbaity title and see if that changes whether people tune in or not. Attempting to play every song ever written challenge. And we're going to make challenge really big. And we're going to do question mark there. We're going to see how much this stuff is SEO'd. Okay. James Horner. Yep. I got it for you. Do you like playing Silent Hill? It's your favorite game? That's wonderful. I have never played Silent Hill. I've heard it's good though. You completed 2 books? Great. Just keep on cruising then. Hey, me like to game. I almost turned that into like a completely foreign word instead of just reading the English that was in front of me. Which Vivaldi? You know, he kind of wrote a lot of stuff. Thanks for the tips. You can play a little bit now. Awesome, Radian. That's awesome. There's a lot of Vivaldi. Adriano Celentano. I'm pretty sure that's not Vivaldi. Confessa? Do you want Confessa by Adriana Celentano? Do you remember you from Tuesday's live stream? Yeah. How's it going? Bohemian Rhapsody? Awesome. What to do now that I can play a little bit with both hands? I can't answer that question. You need to answer that for yourself. Do you want to learn to improvise? Do you want to play jazz? Do you want to ear train? Do you want to read music? Do you have specific songs you want to learn? Do you just want to generally get better? I would say out of all that in the framework, I would definitely say if you can put some scales in the mix there, you're only going to be happy for that. All right, can you hear the music, Oppenheimer? Simon says Pella Pelanasha. Bollywood song? There you go. W Indian song? There you go. You want that down the octave? Is that where it plays? I've never heard this before. This is the one that it says, took you a week to learn the whole thing? Yeah. I don't need no stinking week. This is the best part about music. Le jeu. You want to get to a point where you can see the sheet music and play away, then you need to practice that actively. That's what I would say, Radeon. You come in 2 years, will my progress be exponential? I would say rarely is progress exponential on piano. I would say it's more stepwise. Okay, so basically you learn something that is a step up, and then you can go immediately to the next level. And then you're at the next level, and then you're going to need some breakthrough to then get popping up to the next level. That's what I would say. What's my favorite song to play? Really a variety of things. Hey Joseph, the Imitation Game main theme. We can look at that. So this is what I would say. Can I play Somber? Isn't like Somber an artist? Isn't there a million bajillion songs by Somber? Back to Friends. Seems like a main one. So what I would say in terms of if you want to learn how to sight read really well, what you need to do is you need to practice sight reading. And what do I mean by saying that you need to practice sight reading? What you need to do is you basically need to work on the ability to sight read. And how do you work on the ability to sight read? You do that every day. I love to do hymns. Hymns to me is one of the most goated ways of doing that. The Chopin Nocturne. So Nocturne Opus 9 number 8. That's the one. Sorry, Opus 9 number 2. What am I saying? That's a huge one. Piano Marvel is great for sight reading. You do it every day. Yeah, apps. You know, I'm fairly critical of apps and saying that you don't want to overly rely on apps. But honestly, sight reading is one where it's not the worst idea to use an app. One thing the app is not going to teach you how to do is how to BS, and BSing is a big part of sight reading. To be able to make decisions about what's important and keep that rhythm going, I think that that's a huge thing. All right, here's some Somber. Real sheet music looks scary. See, Simon, you just need to get over your fears and just try it. I think you'd be surprised. You just need to commit to doing it. My music tastes more genre-based, like I like more cinematic music. Yes, that was a little bit of a somber song. Pay attention to what? You're doing From Books, Johnson? Cool. Oh, that's all? You just want a shout out? Why do you want a shout out? Guys, what's the purpose of a shout out? That's what I want to know. Hey Zendoka, how's it going? What song is this? This is Nocturne Opus 9, number 8, number 2. I keep saying number 8. That's totally not right. Chopping Nocturne Opening 8? What in the world is Chopping Nocturne Opening 8? Because when I started watching stream, that's all I wanted? Okay. All right, sure. How's life with all the busyness in Zendoka? You were just telling the name, but that's not the name. It's Chopin, so Chopin, and then Nocturne with an E at the end, and then Opus 9, and then number 2. Opus 9, number 2. It's been hectic. Family drove you a little crazy? Yeah. Now you're flown back and work in school is driving you nuts? Yeah, sounds like it. Can you tell about your piano journey? When did you start? Did you ever feel stuck? What motivated you to go on? Oh, yeah, autocorrect is a pain. I totally agree. Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about my piano journey. I started because I was forced to. And then after that, I kept on going because I was very interested in writing original music, probably around like 11. And that pushed me for a while, and then I found a jazz teacher, and that jazz teacher insisted that I kept working on classical. So then I switched over to so I did both classical and jazz through that. And then I was ready to go to college, and I was like, I want to do music in college. So I kept on working on music to get better enough to go to college. I had a lot of people tell me that I was not going to be good enough at piano to go to college. And so I just worked my butt off and to prove them wrong. A lot of my progress in the early days was just mental health. And then on top of mental health, it was definitely mental health, and then like trying to prove people wrong. That motivated a lot of my practicing early on. And then I would say after college, it's just been figuring out ways to make money with music. You got a piano for Christmas, and I had a keyboard at first, but I now have a much more high quality keyboard, which is pretty much a piano. Awesome. Very cool. How you doing, Piano Seeker? What's up, Karina? Your piano broke your having withdrawals. Yeah, I get that. One message to the people who say you can't do it or don't make it as your career are just wasting time. Oh, I heard that all the time. What I would say is it depends on what you mean by make it. If making it to you is becoming a #1 artist, then yes, it would be like saying making it playing football is winning the Super Bowl, right? Would it be nice to win the Super Bowl? Yes. But even if everything went right, you still might not win the Super Bowl. It's just there's too much that's outside of your control. But on the other hand, if you want to make it in music and making it in music is making a living, that's actually quite achievable for almost everyone who really, really wants to passionately work towards it. So that's the first thing that I would say. Basically pointing out to people that if you're flexible, there's a lot of different ways of making it, if you will. And then I would say as well, you should do what's life-giving to you. So if it's life-giving to you, then yeah, you're going to spend more time on it. The other thing you can tell like relatives and people who are critical of it is the skills you learn doing music are highly applicable to everything else. Self-discipline, communication, consistency, all of these things translate to all other elements. Any tips for self-learner who can't afford teacher? Is self-learning a thing? Yes, it can totally be a thing. Or is a teacher a must? A teacher is not a must. You work your butt off 4 hours a day. So this is what I would say. You need to learn to be meta. You have to be creative for making full-time. No, I don't think you have to be creative to make it full-time in music. Just teach. If you have the slightest bit of entrepreneurial skills or are just willing to fill out job applications or get a teaching certificate, just teach. Like you can make it full-time. Hey, Lucas, have actually highly contemplated military. I know you said that before. Seen some of your videos. So I know you also play guitar, but are there any other instruments you play? Yeah, drums, bass, singing, stuff like that. For the self-taught and you've got 4 hours, you're working 4 hours a day, you're going to make a lot of progress there. But I would say, what do you think is better, simply piano or piano teacher? A piano teacher, no question. That is an insane comparison. That's like saying, what's better, chocolate cake or Brussels sprouts? I mean, Brussels sprouts are fun, but music career can be more than a side hustle, but you have to think about who you are, what your resources are, what you expect out of life, what your comfort level is, all of those things. I can't answer that question for you. What I would going back to the self-taught thing, you need to learn to meta practice. And what do I mean by meta practice? I mean, you have to think about practicing. You can't just think about, okay, I'm in the weeds and I'm just playing this song over and over again because I just really want to get good at this song. You need to start engineering, thinking about yourself and almost teaching yourself, if you will, right, Simon? So what you want to think about is like, okay, I really would love to get better at sight reading. So I'm going to set up that 15 minutes of the time is sight reading. Oh, yes. No, composing is, yes, you're going to have to be creative. If you want to succeed and make it as a composer, you're definitely going to have to get creative. I completely agree with that. So let's say that you really want to get better at sight reading. And let's say you're having technical challenges in a few of the pieces that you're working on. What you can do if you're meta practicing is you can think about how you're actually practicing, okay? So you go, all right, this is what we need to do. we need to think about how we're moving our fingers. What's actually holding me back? Am I getting tense? Okay, let's work on being more relaxed. Am I overthinking it? Okay, let's slow down our mental process. All of these different things. So Simon, if you just keep bull rushing in, you're probably not getting the most out of your 4 hours that you're practicing your butt off. But if you can, and like in many ways, you have to be more disciplined if you're doing it on your own. When you have a teacher, you have this outside resource to kind of keep on pulling you to where you need to be. Does that make sense? There are some definitely unconventional ways to make a living doing composition, but yeah, that's a bit harder. Where I live, if you want to teach, it's literally just applying for the cert with a 20-minute application. So yeah, teaching is open to consider. Yeah, if you're just trying to make money, now, it makes me a little sad to say that because people deserve a teacher that actually cares that they get better. And so the whole idea that you're just teaching because you just want to make money is a little sad. Imagine Creep if it was, do I listen to film music? I do, not that. That's right, sir. I just ask everyone to get more information, tips. It sounds like you're on the right track. The other thing I would say, Simon, because I've been in moments like that, is definitely think about taking a little bit of breaks every once in a while when you're in the thick of that really intensive, like trying to get something, to try to give yourself perspective. Yeah, and again, your main goal is classical performance at a big stage. That's a very lofty goal, but you can get there. So Star is Live. Starting later, let me give you some positives about starting later. Okay, I'm sure you know all the negatives. But let me give you some positives about starting later. There is no special time period that you have to be successful in. Like, so you could go, okay, I want to do classical music on a stage and have people come hear me play classical. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to intentionally choose a longer path that's less likely to burn out, that's more financially viable. So maybe you have some other skills that allow you, maybe your family has connections that allow you to make money doing something outside of music. Because let's face it, except for teaching, there's not a lot of money in classical music. Practice routine for intermediate learners, what to focus, like repertoire and technical. What are the things we should focus on? Okay, for intermediate, I think you need to be focusing on getting those scales from 2 octaves to 4 octaves to a metronome, okay? So you want to get that metronome on, you want to be playing right along with it, and try to get up to 4 octaves, right? For repertoire, I would start transitioning from stuff like, I would start doing the inventions. If you haven't done the inventions, do the inventions. Start picking out multi-movement works. Start looking at, say, like a suite. So like Handel suites. You could start looking at Mozart sonatas, Kuhlau sonatas, Clementi, of course. You could try to take a crack at your first Beethoven sonata, but that may be a little too ambitious. On the romantic side, think about learning some Chopin. Get the Chopin preludes. Soda Pop. Do you think the piano is one of the most popular instruments? Piano is definitely one of the most popular instruments. Guitar more popular. I think in my lifetime, guitar was by far and away the most popular. But in the last, I'd say 10 years, I think it's pivoted and piano's kind of gotten a lot more of the, more of that. Yeah, Stars Live. Let me go back to that. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Okay, so think about the advantage you have being older, okay? You can be very calculating. You can make very specific tactical moves to ensure that you're going to have a better success. So what do I mean by that? You go, okay, all right, I really want to do classical. So I'm going to actually research who the best classical teachers are in my area. I may not be able to afford to go to them once a week, but I can set up once a month or even once every 6 months to go see them. At the same time, I'm going to find the most straightforward way for me to earn the most amount of money for my time, okay? If you have skills, great. If you've got family connections, great. You just find whatever it is to earn maximum amount of money for time. And then you trade your money for time. That gets you your resources. Then you use that to access the best education. You also have the internet to help you, right? And you do that to work towards developing your skills where you want them with piano. And then on the actual getting performances thing, you don't need to wait for anybody else. First, I would get experience and get potentially a little bit of revenue by performing for like retirement homes, for religious organizations, for nonprofits, set up little concerts at places. Those type of places are always looking for concerts. Then look for concert series in your neighborhood. There's going to be a local church or a local community center that has like, Thursdays where they have informal little classical performances. They typically do. Piano, guitar, violin. I think that's correct for right now, overachiever. I think the rise of electronic music, and then people like Benson Boone, and people like that. I think piano has definitely come back in a broad way. So Stars Live. Then you start going through. I actually have a whole video. I'm pretty sure I made a whole video talking through this, but it's okay. Start to hit up your local organizations. Get some performing experience, and then when you're ready, go ahead and just book out a hall somewhere. Book out a hall that can seat 50 people. And then do everything in your power to fill up every seat of those 50. I'm doing fine. How are you doing, 7 Set? Drop 2, sure. So drop 2 is basically, you've got this lovely chord voicing. So you put all the notes like right in a row, right? But then you pull a note out from typically where the 2 notes are right next to each other. So we have C, E, G, A, C. And then we go down to here. How's my challenge going? It's a clickbait title. I'm not going to lie. So what we're going to do is we're going to then take this shape and we're going to go up and we're going to go through it. So let's start out with the most simple one. So we're going to not do drop 2 to begin with. We're just going to do them together. So we go C, E, G, A, C. Will cost a lot. How are you going to earn from it then? You charge. You charge. And it's not going to cost that much. There's going to be people who are going to sponsor that, Stars Live. But you're thinking way too far ahead, okay? You're thinking way too far ahead. Also, again, you're not going to be making money from classical. I'm trying to be realistic, but also optimistic. Realistic and optimistic. And I just have to tell you, like, the money in classical is in education. There's very little money in classical performance. It's just the truth. India may be a different scenario when you talk about classical Indian music. Okay, sorry, Seven Set. Let's get into this. So we're gonna do just a chunk up. Okay, so we have C, E, G, A, C, right? So this is called a closed voicing. We have an octave between. We just have a sixth chord. Then when we go to the D, we're going to diminished. And then back to the sixth chord in inversion, then diminished, then sixth chord, then we add in the A flat just to have a passing diminished chord, so we don't go from here to here, because that doesn't sound good. So we have the diminished, then another sixth chord, diminished, back. That's normal closed voicing. So let's say you want to play Twinkle Twinkle, it sounds something like this. But that is all closed. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to take a note from the middle. And in general, I think I said a G before. That's not right. You take the top one from the second. That's why it's called drop 2. So we drop that down. So we have the A on the bottom. And so then we're going to keep the same shape, but we're going to move it. You got that now? That's the general idea. And jazz people who get really good at that can, in the moment, play the melody along with it. I will just level with you. I've always BS'd it a little bit. Gotcha, Stars Live. The other thing I would look at, it is hard. I agree. Yes, it is hard. What I would recommend, this is what I would say, 7 Set. I would recommend learning the sixth chords in closed voicing in all 12 keys, like this. And then up here. Something like that, okay? I think that's going to give you almost as much success as doing drop 2, but it's going to be a little more achievable. Back to you, Stars Live. This is the one other thing that I would say. I know immigration is like a hot button topic right now, but I would highly, highly consider looking at what entrance requirements are for studying in Europe or studying in the United States, or like Australia. And I would definitely think about what it would take. Because my guess is, if you had a goal, you're like, oh, and it would also be very digestible for your family too, right? If you're like, oh, I'm going to, in my late 20s or early 30s, I'm going to just be doing everything in my power to go and study abroad piano or music at a university or conservatory in the United States or Europe or Australia or just somewhere other than India, I think that that would be both easily digestible, potentially. I don't know. I don't know enough about family culture in India, but I know that would be pretty digestible here. And at the same time, you would develop connections and you potentially would get what you needed to get to be able to then start a music career from there. Especially if you were studying in a big city. Like if you got into even like a middling or I'm not trying to lower your expectations, but just to play devil's advocate, let's imagine you got into just some sort of very basic school in Paris, right? For music. The fact that you're in Paris would give you so many opportunities to play that you'd be set. And so yes, just food for thought. but there's a reason why not everybody goes into music. Even though I'm a big advocate for people to try to go into music, it's not easy. It's not like it's just a no-brainer. Oh yeah, everybody should go into music if they want to. Um, I would, the way it was always explained to me is only do music if you have no other alternatives. I think that's a little too extreme the other way. I don't think you have to be quite that extreme to the other way. But I do think it should be weighted accordingly. It shouldn't be something that you just enter into lightly. Because again, you're just entering a lot of competition. You also mean like competitions, and here all the family want their son be working and earning in their 30s. That's the reason I said you're lacking in time. Yeah. Do you think you need a degree in music to pursue as a career? No. No, not at all. I just think that's a really good sort of approach, especially if you've got family criticism, because it adds more legitimacy to it. I actually am fairly anti-college in general to pursue music because it's not very necessary if you know what you're trying to accomplish. If you don't know what you're trying to accomplish, I think music is a great music degree is a great stepping stone. But I can tell you right now, I've never actually had to use my music degree for anything. Hey, Messi. We're not going to get into politics like that on here. Uh, Stars Live. I would just have a long, hard look at it, and I know that like family is extremely important in India. And I know that I'm probably experiencing my American biases with this answer, but it's your life, okay? They have good intentions, and they're absolutely right. I think one of the things that was undersold to me, coming from the other side of things, is it's all good, Messi. Um, uh, I I would say what's undersold, what was undersold to me is the importance of really uh, earning a lot when you're younger. It's like investing, right? If you put a lot of money in the stock market when you're young, you'll be set for life. It's very similar with muscle gain. It's very similar with skills. It's very similar with health. It's very similar with relationships. All of these things, you get an outsized benefit for the amount of time you are willing to sow into them when you were younger. You really want to do good in piano? That's your dream in coming 5 years. Have to prove my dad I'm good enough to piano. Allow you to continue. Well, again, if that's your dream, I would. This is the honest truth. This is the thing that people don't want to say because it's not very sexy to say. You really should be trying to do it all. Okay? Like, I know people love the I quit studying to be a doctor or a lawyer so I could pursue my dream. That's just not how the real world works most of the time. Okay? The most successful people I know generally do it all. And they just find a way to make the time. And if you are really conscious with yourself, very few people don't have time lying around. There is time lying around. Yes, Zendoka is 100% right. And again, it's not the sexy answer. It's not the at least in the United States, it's not the culturally correct answer, right? In the United States, it's like, follow your dreams. It's your life. Don't listen to your family. And my personal opinion, and again, this is coming from a dad, so I definitely have the parent perspective as well at this point. Like, I understand where the family's coming from, because the truth is, you could spend a lot of time working on piano, you could get even pretty good at it, and you still need like a steady income. And the truth is, like, even if you're really good at music, you will be working almost 50% more hours to make the type of money you can make doing other uh, more solid, not solid, more lucrative career professions. Hey, Jace, how's it going? So, like, my brothers all generally went into engineering. I generally would have to work an extra 20 hours a week. So I'd almost have to work 60 hours. I basically was working a lot of times 7 days a week to make similar or actually still less money than they were making. Was it enough to live on? Yes. Am I extremely grateful to have been able to make a living playing music? Yes. But again, things to be aware of. Guys, I'm going to play a little bit more and then we're probably going to get rolling. You just learned gymnopédie? Oh, cool. Great. Yeah, so just keep it up. Overachiever, I think, has some good stuff here. As someone who is responsible to support their family while still in high school, I have projects. You just got to get your priorities straight. If your dream is a priority, then it's worth going after while balancing things. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Do you know some sight reading PDFs? It's called Bach Chorales. Bach Chorales are a goated sight reading PDF. Yeah, overachiever, I completely agree. You stepped out of your comfort zone, it worked? Good. That's great, Jace. Yeah, I mean, and that's life, okay? And you're going to get it right sometimes and you're going to get it wrong other times. But you do just always be, this is the one thing I'll say, because I've been kind of heavily in dad mode and heavily like hedge your bets, you know, make sure it's realistic, all of that. Let me give this one other caveat. Don't ever, ever, ever give up on your dreams, okay? Don't. And here's the reason why. Let's say it never happens. Would you rather have given that opportunity always and given that choice? I would say the answer is yes, because that's going to open you up to so many experiences, so many relationships. You may get an amazing connection for your profession because of piano. Like, you may get into a position where you're taking care of your family by finances you earned from your degree, but you got that connection because of music, okay? And this is why people are way too square with the way they think about life, all right? So it's a bit of having both perspectives, because, you know, for myself, like, this sounds much different than most normal streams. Yeah, I don't typically delete streams unless I like randomly have something that I feel like may be like doxing material, or one of my kids comes on stream. A lot of times I'll do it then. Viva La Vida, we can do a little Viva La Vida. No, you're fine. You're totally fine. It is a little bit different. Yeah, let's play Viva La Vida. The funny thing is, it can also occur the opposite, by the way. You may meet somebody. Oh, you're totally fine, Jace. Yeah, I generally pick odd keys and odd chord changes on purpose. I like them. This is the other funny thing, Stars Live. You may actually get opportunities because you're doing something more more professional in music as well. Like you may get connections to pursue music through your traditional career path. Like you may play at company parties and different things because you have connections through your professional career path. It works both directions. Thank you, Messi, again. I like that title. Guys, actually, I'm going to get running for now. But thanks, everyone, for popping in. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the lively conversation. That was fun. Until next time, you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. All right, peace out, everybody. Bye.